How's that cover? That works pretty good. Hold it like that. That should be fine. Okay. In this video, I'm going to be covering... I'm going to be like laying out a blueprint on all the steps I've been taking in my spiritual journey. What I found really works for me. What has really made a difference in my life. And I'll be detailing how that compares to what I see in society. And I'm going to try to give people a perspective that is very rarely seen. My goal here is to tie together a bunch of different perspectives and bring it together in one package that's really going to give you guys a solid foundation on how to go about your health, how to speed up your progress in spirituality, speed up your growth in that sense. And I want to touch on a bunch of subjects. Now, the original goal with this was to make a bunch of separate videos. I was going to cover each topic in its own video and like go in depth in it. And I suppose that's sort of what my goal still is. I'd like to do that eventually at some point. I just coming out with any video, it's been about 2-3 months or so, and I haven't made a video because life happens and stuff's come up and I've been busy and time's just flown by, and all of a sudden 2-3 months has passed before I've made a video on this channel talking about what I want to talk about and teach. So the goal here is to just put it all out there as like a blueprint. So if I was to do no video beyond this point, I want to make sure that all the information that I want to give, I can at least give a foundation so y'all can be like, after this video, I want to be like, okay, I've literally given them everything. Like I've shown them all the shit so they can go, okay, I've done this, but I haven't done that. So I'm going to go try that out and try a bit of that and see if that brings about some change, Just give awareness to different areas so you can try out. Okay, that's like the intro. So why health? Why am I targeting health? Why is that a big thing? Like, it hasn't always been that case for me. I haven't really cared about it my whole life up until recently when I started to, there you go. As I started to find answers in terms of spirituality, find answers of like, okay, doing this actually has an effect on my life. Like, I'm sure any man that's done semen retention in this community can tell that has a profound effect on your life. So I'm like, oh shit, like, let's do this. But the correlation I found was a lot of things that made that difference all had to do with health, all had to do with the body, understanding of the body, understanding of, just reality in general. But the consensus that came down to was that the more you understood your body, the more you took care of it, understood how to take care of it, and how to detox and heal from what society subjects us to. Our bodies are very toxic. Our bodies are very underdeveloped and in certain aspects, and we don't understand how the body actually functions. We don't understand. We're very ignorant of a lot of things. So what I found, to be honest, it's October 2020 now. June 2019 was when I really started taking my steps in spirituality, in self-development, I'd say really like understanding this health thing I'm trying to talk about. And so all this progress I made in the course of, July, August, September, October, in the course of 16 months has been so drastic. I've never, like, it's unspeakable just like how amazed I am of like the progress I made and where I could see myself going in a couple years. And I'm just so grateful for that. And what I'm trying to say there is that this, I sort of had to find that path on my own. It took me 16 months. And when you really break down the core mechanics of it, it's really not too complicated on how to really like step your shit up and like get to that level that we're all trying to sort of reach. You know, if you're a man, I'm speaking from my experience, because you know that's I feel like that's all I can really speak from. But you know, growing up, I never really had someone to teach me what it was like, what it meant to be a man, what it meant to like embody the masculine energy. You know, we do have masculine and feminine energies, but understanding my own energy, I was never really taught much about that, as we all weren't. No one fucking taught us what to do. Well, for the most part, I can only speak from what I understand, but from what you can see out here, it looks like most people weren't really taught too much, from my understanding. So, you know, growing up, I was bullied. I grew up with anxieties, and I was self-conscious in many aspects, and I struggled a lot. I was just like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like, I do this, and people tell me not to do that, but then they tell me to do this, and I know that doesn't work, so it's like, what am I doing here? So, yeah, we're all just trying to find the stuff that will bring us to a nice level, you know? What makes it just fucking easy. We're tired of bashing our head into the wall with advice that some people give that is just bullshit advice. And it's like, okay, who do I actually go to? This is what the question I had. I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do? I've done all the things you told me to do, and it's not working. And it's like, okay, you don't want me to go on my path. You don't want me to, you tell me to do this, but that doesn't work. So it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So, yeah, what I'm trying to say is, with everything I'm going to talk about in this video, you don't got to take my word on it. Because, see, when I was looking for answers and shit, and looking for truth, and looking for, you know, what I could do to really grow and develop myself, I sort of had to put my faith in certain people and be like, okay, I'm going to trust what you're doing. I'll trust it for a bit. And okay, that doesn't work. Okay. I fuck with you. You see me got a good idea there. I fuck with that a bit. I'm going to try that for a bit. And it doesn't. Whoa. Like, I resonate with what you say there. I'm going to try that out. Boom. That works. Like, that's what I'm trying to like convey to you, of like, you ain't got to take anything I say here as dogma, as like, oh, he said it, I got to do it. Like, I'm imploring you to look into each topic. And what the whole point of this video is, just to bring new things to your consciousness, new things to your awareness, that you can be like, whoa, I didn't think about that at all. Like, what? Like, it just was swept under your radar. So you can be like, okay, I'll take a day or two, or I'll like just try looking that up, or, oh, that's a cool concept. I'm going to try that out and apply that to my life and see how that affects. That's all I'm trying to get you to do. I'm not telling you to think a certain way. I'm telling you to be open. I'm asking you to be open-minded. And, yeah, this is just my chance to express, a lot of things that I've been just holding in for this minute. I've just been keeping this shit to myself and looking around like, damn, like, I can genuinely say, like, I don't know a person in my life who knows all the things I'm going to talk about, like, to collectively, like, they'll talk about this, and this. I'm going to bring it together. I know this is a long intro, but I'm going with the flow. This is just, you know, I'm that vessel that's just, like, allowing this to flow out, and I feel like it's going to flow out in the best way as it's supposed to. So, yeah. I'm going to be covering all this shit. So, basically, what I'm going to do with this video is, since I wanted to make individual videos, it wasn't going to be like this. I was going to, like, devote each video to a different thing, and I was going to give reference to certain people that I learned this information from. But since that's not going to be the case, since we're going to throw it all into this video as, like, a blueprint video, I'm going to start touching on a bunch of different people that I've got this information from. And all these people are going to be listed in the top of I'm going to put it in a comment. I'm going to pin it. And so down below in the comment section, the top comment is going to have all the channels I'm going to be explaining in this video, with references to YouTube channels, a Facebook page, specific videos that the information I'm talking about is in, that you can go look up and find further information on yourself. But I'm not just pulling this video. I'm not just pulling this information up. I'm finding this information from these sources that are providing this, and I'm experimenting with it. And if it works for me, I'm sharing that with y'all. And it's the shit I don't hear people talking about too much, like the information. So it's like I feel like I gotta bring it. I feel like it would only be right. Like that's something I gotta give. That's something I got to speak up. So yeah, some of the channels I'll be talking about are, okay, they're going to cover topics of semen retention. They're going to cover topics of veganism and eating lifestyles. We're going to go into all this. We're going to go into eating. We're going to go into water. We're going to go into urine and aged urine. That's going to be a topic. I'm going to break that shit down. So chill with me on that. We going to have yoga. We going to have different understandings of the body. So who this is coming from, what sources we got this from, the main ones I can think of off the top of my head, because of course, besides these channels, I've also searched YouTube for other videos on the topic where I'll come across people, but the majority of the information is coming from these people, so I want to touch on that. And on that note, I want to put in this video as well that if you ever want to search for like some real shit on YouTube, like video from like genuine people, and like videos that you know, that I find have most value and are not like mainstream videos, you want to type in the topic, say it was semen retention, you type in semen retention, and there's a slider that says relevance. You click that slider, it pops down, it says like, I don't know, most viewed, and then rating. You click rating, so you want to search by rating. So you choose like semen retention rating, and then yeah, you just go through, you be like click through videos until you find one that resonates, that you're just like, okay, I can vibe with this, and you just fuck with those videos. Like that's what I did, and that's how I found a fuck ton of information that I find is very valuable and I could apply and really apply to my life. So the main channels I'm gonna go through, I'm actually gonna pay homage to Buddha Zan on this first, for he introduced me to Master of Earth, and a large portion of I'd say a lot of different techniques. A vast majority of the things I am engaging in that I do as a daily practice are from Master of Earth. So I'd have to pay homage to both of them, and they both teach different things. So we're going to be talking about the two of them. I'm going to be putting them in the comments. God King TV, he broke down. He was probably the first channel that really changed shit for me. Like around July 2019 was when I found him, so right at the start. And he talks about semen retention, tantra, you know, a lot of different things. Different, like he goes into occult knowledge. I'll touch on this. Astrology. Yeah, dope shit. Just fire content. Damian Michaels. So with this guy, a lot of his content, like 3 years worth of videos, I downloaded it and I put it on my phone, and it was all from his Facebook page. Like the majority of his content, even though he has a YouTube, was on his Facebook page, and Facebook took down his page, so all those videos are gone. I can't get a hold of them. I don't think he can get a hold of them either. And the phone I had it on is broken. So all those videos that I were watching that were like just straight game, that I was wanting to send people to, like, yo, you want to hear about like some real shit on veganism or just like health and shit and like breaking it down, I would send it there. The videos are gone. So my hope is eventually I'm going to be at that point where I'm going to go back to those topics. I had them in my head, but I'm going to come back and do my own research on them own and start making my own videos on those topics, because I can see the value in it. And yeah, so Damian Michaels, Harry Matadine. Harry Matadine talked about aged urine and sun gazing too, and holistic health practices. But the majority of information I got from him that separated, you know, he added a new perspective, was the urine therapy, but also aged urine. And we gonna cover that because it's some dope shit. And yeah, who else would come up? I mean, I guess I'd have to touch on, if we're talking about age urine, I'd touch on Monica Shoot and Alkalize to Realize. They have some good information on the topic as well. That's like a good majority of what I wanted to talk about, like the main aspects I want to touch on. Okay, so yeah, I think that's how we're gonna do it. So before we go into what you can do to like step shit up to that next level, and also I just gave you the channels, they're in the description, so if you want to just cut the video here and hop to those channels, like just to get some straight game, like that's fire, because you can go there, all the videos are fire. And I remember like Master of Earth, fuck with all the videos. I've watched all of them multiple times. Same with Buddha Zan, same with Damien Michael, God King TV. But with Harry Matadine, I picked out the ones that were age urine. So if you're more concerned about just that topic, I consider going to Harry Matadine's channel and filtering through for the ones that touch on age urine, because that's what I did. So that's what I can speak from. I can't speak on his other videos because I didn't really tap into those too many. But the other ones, I've watched all their videos repeatedly. So I can attest that I mess with all their content. Like it's stuff I can attest to. So yeah, what should you focus on first? Like where are we gonna start with this? Okay. I'd like to touch on the topic of, where are we at? 17 minutes. I'd like to touch on the topic of we're not really gonna try to build you up and magnetize you and touch on too many things if we're still losing energy, you know? We're not gonna start making you go vegan or making you do, what could we say? Do all this extra stuff when you're still losing your energy from a certain area, which, as I always say, is the first step of everything. Like if you haven't gotten any experience in this step, or if you haven't considered practicing this, semen retention is step number one above all else. I touched on this in my first video. The information comes from Buddha Zan. But for a man, for a woman, an orgasm it's actually urine. That's the fluid it uses. But for a man, it's like the most precious liquid your body creates. Like for one, either it's 30 drops or a cup. Either 30 drops of blood to 1 drop of semen, or a cup of blood to 1 drop of semen. Either way, it's a big concentration to 1 drop. So what happens is, if you're constantly draining this fluid, that affects the medium. It changes the medium your brain uses, changes your blood, it thins your blood. And if you keep ejaculating constantly, your body's going to be forced to create a lesser liquid because it doesn't have enough. You keep depleting this very vital essence, so the body doesn't have enough to revitalize, so it'll create a lesser fluid that your body will operate on. And another point that Buddha Zan touched on was that the liquids of your body, I think Master Earth even covered this in his most recent video, all the liquids of your body is how your consciousness communicates. So if your liquids are in greater health, it is easier for your consciousness to connect and easier for your body to raise in vibration and for you to operate as you should on a regular functioning level. So right off the bat, I'm not going to tell you to go vegan if you're add all this good stuff. If you're just depleting it, like we're putting all the energy in the wrong area. Now, what else makes this good choice? Makes it a good decision to start semen retention first? Well, since sexual energy is one of the hardest things to, is one of the strongest energies in this dimension, in this, if you can overcome, not even overcome, but just like stop being controlled by it. You can get over that control, and you can redirect it to other areas and use it to manifest in other areas of your life, and use it as a fuel to fuel your drive, your purpose. You use it in other areas. If you can do that, there is nothing else out here you cannot accomplish. The sun's coming up. That's beautiful. So I'm getting some sun. We're gonna talk about the sun. I'm getting some sun while I'm doing the video. That's fire. Okay. Yeah. If you can accomplish the semen retention thing, there ain't nothing else in this list that you can't do. So if you're watching this video and you've already done that, the rest of this shit, it's downhill from there. But getting consistent on that is the goal. So if you were starting out, I'd say before you do, you could do little things here and there, but for what I'm going to touch on, I'd say for the first 30 days, just focus on semen retention and ignore everything else, just of how significant of getting that first step down is. Now, if this is where you at, this is the step you're at, I'm going to send you to God King TV's channel. In the comment box below, what you're gonna do is you're going to watch the videos from bottom up, so the oldest videos up. And if you really wanna, what I did was I watched them through, and then I went back later and I wrote stuff down. And when I wrote it down, I touched on concepts that I didn't even hear the first time. I watched these videos over and over again because I'm just like, whoa, like there's so much value here. Like I'm just like this is so dope. I just loved watching these videos and I felt so motivated. It was just like, yo, this is so cool. So what I'd recommend is just like, if you want to understand semen retention on like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, you want someone to really break it down for you? Okay, you're going to God King TV. You're going to watch the videos backed up and actually watch the videos. Like, don't just be like, okay, I'm going to watch one video in the most recent one and can't understand it. No, like each one breaks down different concepts. And if this is where you at and you want to take this seriously, again, this video is for people who, for someone like me who was like, I just wanted a fucking answer. I just wanted a path and no one was giving me the shit. So I'm like, I'm giving you a path. And if you're going to do it, this is how you're going to do it. You got to do all this shit. You're not just going to hop in there and take a little bit of that. Like, no, since this is such a pivotal step, you've got to really take it seriously and be like, okay, like this is my goal, because if you can handle this shit's going to get dope. Like your life it's so dope, man. The another thing Buddha Zan said, I think I heard it today or yesterday. I was rewatching a video and he was talking about how the universe judges you at the strength of your kidneys, which represents your yin and your yang energy, which represents your masculine and feminine. And what he'll talk about on that channel right from the jump, God King TV, we'll talk about the how the masculine and feminine energy in every person's body. Every body is masculine and feminine. You know, the body itself, the vessel itself, this whole realm, everything here is feminine. But the mind, the soul, that's the masculine essence. And even tied into astrology, you got the two feminine energies, the physical and the emotional, and then you got the what was it? The two masculine ones, mental and the spiritual. But yeah, so every person has masculine and feminine energies. The male is more charged for the masculine energy, the female is more charged for the feminine energy, but both bodies have this energy. So the whole purpose of cultivating your sexual energies, what you're actually doing is the feminine energy, say this is your body, the feminine energy starts at the bottom. What you're doing is you're trying to reconnect that feminine energy. I can't really do it with my hand, but you're trying to reconnect the two. And you're trying to build that feminine energy up so you can now be fully polarized from your masculine and feminine energies. Now, I'm not going to go deeper on this because he covers it really great. And, that's where I got the content from. So head over there if you're at the semen retention portion. And now, if you're already past that, what we're going to do, since we're talking about semen retention and tantra and sex energy, another thing to touch on is sexual energy transmutation. So if you're a ways into semen retention and you're trying to make use of this energy, you want, again, most of the information is covered on the channel, but you want to direct it to something. You want to, if you're going to be retaining, you want to, have a creative purpose. You want to have something creative you're doing to redirect the energy to, but also too, not only from that aspect of it, you also want to take that energy, which resides at the base of your spine, your root chakra, and you want to move that up throughout your body so it doesn't stay stagnant, so you don't have wet dreams, you don't get overly aggressive, and you can actually move this feminine energy through your body. Now, I never understood this. I'm like, what? Like, no one broke it down. No one's like, okay, I understand sexual energy transmutation, but no one's like, okay, here's what you do. I went to one channel called Sexual Kung Fu, and he broke down like breathing, visualizing breathing through below your belly button and then into your testicle area. And this is for men, but it's gonna go into male and female. But and then feeling the energy there and then breathing it back out through the area below your belly button, which is considered the chi high area. And it was very complex, and I was getting into it, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But it was kind of, I felt like it was too visualizy for me. Like I kind of needed like something more tangible. I'm like, okay, and that's what most things I like to do. I don't like to. Yeah, I turned off my phone. Okay, back to it. Okay, so yeah, the information was very not tangible enough for me. I like to have my information that I'm applying be very like, okay, I understand that I'm actually doing this the right way. Like I understand, I get a good feel for it. Now, Buddha Zan broke this down. The most simple way of transmuting sexual energy is contracting the muscle that you use to stop yourself from urinating. If you can contract it, what I would do is I'll squeeze it a couple times to recognize the muscle, and then on like the fourth or fifth try, I'll hold it. So that way I'm like, okay, I've actually understood where that muscle is, and I'll just hold it. And then what you're doing is basically you can do that throughout the day. And like any muscle, you just do that over time, and it eventually builds up and it gets easier and easier to hold. And now you're actually not keeping that energy contracted at the base of your spine, but you're actually moving it throughout your body, and you're circling this energy, and you're not getting backed up and overly aggressive, or everything's flowing better. So that's a thing to touch on semen retention. Yeah. Do I really want to touch into that? Not really. I want to speak from things that I have experience on. So I'm going to cut that where it is for the first step. And then we're going to go throughout the list. So number 2, I'd say the next most important thing when it comes to the health is getting in the sun. People have different opinions on this. Some people say it's not good to look at the sun. Some people say it is at the start of the day. Some people say you can do whatever you want. There's a lot of opinions on it. I'll go over my understanding of it and where I got the information from, and what I think is a baseline for health, and then why I do what I do, and then what the sun sort of will provide for you. So yeah, you ever notice when fall or wintertime comes around, people have like the fall blues, or people have like the people get sick, people get the fall blues. It's around the time when the sun goes away. The sun has an actual significance. I didn't realize this growing up. I'd always spend time indoors, even when it's sunny outside. But I never really made the correlation of like how the sun itself can, everything in nature needs the sun. Like it's the one, it gives you energy, and it is necessary for the body to produce vitamin D, which is more so of a hormone rather than a vitamin in itself. So in that aspect, it's actually necessary. And then on top of that, for our eyes to function and for our, how could I phrase this? Okay, I want to touch on two perspectives. I want to touch on like a body health perspective, and then I want to touch on like what you'll actually feel and what I felt from my perspective. So on like a body level, the rods and cones of your eyes need sunlight to function properly, to produce all the good things for your body. To this is wishy-washy. This isn't, I don't know. I wish I could break it down better, but yeah. So when it came to the sun, the first channel I heard about talking about the sun was Master of Earth. So that introduced me to the concept of sun gazing, of looking at the sun. Now, some people don't think it's healthy to look at the sun. Me personally, I don't mind it. You know, I find I can still read good, and I recognize that 95% of the information that the sun gives you is only received through your eyes. So it only made sense to me, well, if I'm going to be going out of my way to be getting adequate sunlight, I'm going to try to get as much out of this experience for myself, because I really I value my health over anything else that the Matrix or that society could tell me. I value that truth of like, okay, this is nature. This is what's provided for us. This is sort of the natural way that things work. So, and I sun gaze throughout the day. I've gotten sunburned once from doing it for like 2-3 hours, like not looking at the whole time, but just like spending most of that time in the sun. And I've gotten sunburned, but that was only one time. And for the most part, I can go an hour each time. Having lighter skin, I'm surprised I don't really get too sunburned from it. Now, if you are melanated, if you have darker skin, you're not going to get sunburn from the sun. You can look at the sun any time of the day. Again, people have their own perspectives on it. This is my perspective on it. You can look at it any time of the day, and you're not going to get sunburn. You don't gotta, y'all know this. You don't gotta put on no sunscreen. But if you are lighter skinned and you do burn in the sun, information that God King TV brought up, or I think he was the only one that really touched on that information, but he touched on how if you take in more chlorophyll or spirulina or chlorella or these greens, it actually makes it easier for you to look at the sun. And it's basically plant melanin, so you're taking that into your body, and it'll make it easier for you to sun gaze or put your body in the sun. Now, a lot of this content about the sun comes from Master of Earth. So if you want to learn about that, that's the channel you'd head to. Yeah, so when you're in the sun, you'd preferably like to be in the sun to a point where your skin starts to sweat, because that's what your body does to produce vitamin D. But in today's day and age, when we got clouds everywhere and you're not getting the sun every day, I'd say if you got a chance to get some sun, what I do preferably is I just look at the sun, because I know that's the fastest way for my body to take in information. But if there's sun out, get some sun. If you're a person that doesn't like to look at the sun and says, I don't care, I don't want to do that, and we're going to touch on the eyesight thing when we come into age urine. But basically, it's my understanding that you can heal your eyesight if it were to get damaged from sun gazing. But that's we're going to touch into that. Yeah. So if you don't want to look at the sun, you don't got to. Just expose most of your body to the sun. And then your hair. So your hair is light sensitive. You may notice it. I'm not noticing it right now because the sun's just starting, but when it'll go up in the day, obviously it'll get hotter. And what you'll notice is as soon as you go in the sun, the first part of your body to heat up is your hair. Your hair is light sensitive, so you'll want to expose all the hair on your body, preferably, from your genitals to your armpits to the top of your head to the sun. And I guess we can touch on hair now, because I don't really have a section for it in the list I'm going to go through. But again, information is coming from Master of Earth. Again, this video is just like a blueprint. This is just like, I want to get all that information out for you guys, so I can be like, okay, I went through all I really want to talk about, so y'all can get a glimpse of what's going on in my head when I'm thinking about my day, and like glimpse into like how my world works, because I feel like this perspective could really bring about good change, and I don't really see people talking about all this stuff together. So hair, Master of Earth again. You don't really want to, well, I don't wash my hair too much. I don't use no chemicals in it. I don't brush it. When I'm at work, I'll use like a scrunchie to hold it up, because I wear like a full freezer gear. But besides that, I don't do nothing with my hair. I'll like untangle it a bit, put my hands through it. Yeah, I don't fuck with it too much. Your hair, from what he was saying, is considered, it's like an organism of itself. It's somewhat of yeah, it's another part of you, and you want the body, you live in a symbiotic relationship with your hair, so it's good to take care of your hair. And you know, your hair holds information, and it connects you to your environment around you. It's quite like an antenna to and it can, if you have shorter curly hair, it will hold a charge. For me personally, I got long hair. I don't care. I'm just gonna grow it out. And you know, it's interesting to me that hair grows around areas like around the lymphatic, like lymph nodes. Like hair will grow around those areas, so that's interesting to me. I think it's actually, I've actually heard from reading something that hair is actually connected. Oh yeah, it's like an extension of the nervous system, from what I've heard. I'm like touchy on that, but yeah. So it connects you to your environment, so it's good. People be telling me to cut my patchy beard or whatever. It grows in slowly. I'm just like, nah, because the perspective I have is like, people don't understand. I'm looking at society, I'm like, you guys don't really understand how the body health works. So it's like, if you don't understand how the body works, how are you going to tell me how to take care of myself when from my understanding, the hair is a part of my health, and by cutting this off, by removing this, I'm actually attacking my body. I'm actually attacking myself. So no, I'm not going to dye my hair. I'm not going to cut it unless, maybe I'm going to trim it at some point, but I'm going to grow my hair. What? Like that's what I'm going to do. So I think at a base level, that's kind of all I really want to touch on in hair. We're going to go into showers and we go into the distilled water part. But yeah. So that's stage 2. Stage 3. What do we want to do? We want to do that, or yeah, we'll do this. I'm sort of laying this out in like an order. What I feel like the average person should do, average spiritual seeker, but like person looking at their health, what order you would take with this. Like start from the top and go down. 3, for the average person, I'd say you want to get your lymphatic system moving. Who touches on this? Master of Earth. Does he? Yeah, pretty much Master of Earth. Okay, so the whole idea with this, and Dr. Morse. I'll put him in the comment section as well, Dr. Norris. He talks he'll be a good channel to just like watch a couple episodes and like just peep into like the information he'll be talking about. But I think what Dr. Norris said was like the cells in the body are surrounded by 2 liquids. You got blood and you got lymphatic fluid. And the blood is what provides, it circulates whatever is going through the body at the time, nutrients and and minerals and whatnot are going through the body. And the lymphatic system is somewhat like the sewage system that takes all the things that aren't supposed to be there and gets it out the body. And it's like a system that works together. Now, the blood is pumped by the heart, but the lymphatic system has no actual pump. So what you would do to move the lymphatic system, move the lymph, lymph nodes, armpits, lymph nodes around your pelvic area. This is all your lymphatic system. And to move this, lymph system is pushed by movement. So you'll find this on Master Verse channel. Jumping, the video on jumping. He'll talk about jumping is a great exercise. So this is number 3. You can also run too. Running is like a third as good as jumping. But the idea with jumping is you're actually, by moving your body, you're actually pushing that lymph out your body. You're cleansing the lymphatic system of your body, and any toxic chemicals that need to move out can actually move. The problem is people taking these toxic chemicals, or not toxic chemicals, but things that are foreign of the body that have a positive charge. Well, the body's negatively charged. Objects of a positive charge that aren't of the body get built up, and when people aren't moving, they aren't exercising enough to, in a fashion to move this lymphatic fluid, it gets backed up, and then we have disease in many different forms. So what I would recommend the average person to do is, if you have a trampoline, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, just jumping on a trampoline, you're going for a run daily, I'd say trampoline because I feel like it's more consistent. You don't have to go for a run every day. You just like hop for a bit and it'll push your lymph. And then after a certain point, if you take your health to a certain point, I don't feel like you have to push your lymph every day. But for the average person, for where their health is at, I feel like that'll give a great boost to starting with removing toxins. And on that note, the 4th one, we're going to go into the enema. I made a video on the enema, so you can go there and watch that. Basically, with our diet, a lot of people are constipated. A lot of people have food backed up in their large intestine. So with an enema, preferably distilled water enema, you would cleanse that out of your colon, and it would be it's a great active step you can take at detoxing. I'll say that, especially for someone who has more of a processed food diet. It's a great boost to, I covered it in my video, I think I did. But I can think of coworkers that will bend down and they'll be like, oh, like they can barely move, and you can see they just got these big pot belly that, from my understanding, that person is totally constipated, totally backed up. They'll go to the washroom several times a day and just I don't know. So from my little outside perspective, I'm like, oh, you're backed up in this area, you need to do this, but I ain't gonna tell no one this. It's none of my business. And I doubt I've even told, I think I even tried to put them on game, but still people don't want to hear this. Okay, so yeah. So yes, I have a video on that, covering that. Who did I really learn it from? None of the main channels really touched on it. I guess Damian Michaels did, but the video's gone. So yeah, that one you can't really look up, but I'm sure if you search YouTube properly, you can find videos that cover that topic in the fashion. All right, number 5. Yeah, we going for the water. We're gonna go for distilled water and aged urine, and we're gonna go through this. Okay. Okay. So distilled water. What is distilled water? I can hear construction down over there. Okay, distilled water is, the 4 distilled waters are rainwater. It's in fruits. It's urine, and it's water. You get it from a water distiller. I have a water distiller. I eventually plan on making a video with it, and I got a total dissolved solids meter where you can test the water and see how many parts per million are in the water to see if it's actually if there's any more particles in the water. So I've tested the one in my house. So compared to the tap in my house, the tap is 12 parts per million. In the shower, for some reason, even though I got a filter on it, it's got like 24 parts per million. Distilled water is 0 parts per million. So what that is like per million particles. The tap water has 12 particles of something that isn't water, and the shower would have like 24 particles, for example. So distilled water it's like rain. It's like from fruit, but they'll tell you don't drink it. They'll tell you it's only for like certain things, I think like automobiles and whatnot, but they'll tell you it's bad to drink. Even though it's in fruits, even though it's rain, even though you already have it inside your body in the form of urine, but you can't drink it. I've been drinking it since January. I feel great. I've tried sipping some water at work when I don't have it with me, and I'm like, this is disgusting. Like it just doesn't. It's just like, no, I don't want to drink this. It's just like, no, like you don't want to go back. It's just like. But here's the thing with distilled water. It's got a negative charge to it, which regular water doesn't have. Regular water has a positive charge, so it's not pulling no toxins from your body, while distilled water has a negative charge, which matches the charge of your body. So what you can do is it actually starts to pull all the things with a positive charge from your body, and it actually is cleaning you and healing you, which is what water should be doing. But the water that we get from our taps and the water that we get from these bottled waters from the store, I could name multiple names. Basically all the water is goofy water, and shit's got a positive charge, and it's not pulling nothing from your body. So don't mess with that water, in my preference. You can go to grocery stores. I think you can get like 4 gallons of distilled water, 4 gallons, 4 liters, a gallon. Distilled water for like $1. I don't know. I've never bought one, but I know that if you can't afford a distiller, I don't know what mine was, 150 to 300, something like that, Canadian. So I don't remember. I bought that back in January, and I'm just like, it's an investment I want to make. I'm doing that. And it's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you got that shit for life. You buy little activated charcoal filters, which is like from coconut. And the one thing that the distiller doesn't take out is volatile organic compounds. So what the distiller does is what the little activated charcoal things, there's a little filter at the end of the distiller. It'll take that out. So now you just got pure water. I'll use that for my teas. I'll use that for when I'm brushing my teeth. Basically anything that touches my skin. I want it to be either distilled water or maybe the shower water through the filter, so I'm not getting no chlorine or none of that stuff. We can go into that. But yeah, I don't want nothing touching my skin. This is a quick point. I don't want nothing touching my skin. The skin is the largest organ on your body. Anything that's on your skin absorbs into your skin, which what we're going to cover in aged urine. Aged urine takes 2-3 minutes and it's absorbed into your skin. Your skin's dry again. And you're like, what? Just because of how much it matches your body, you know, it'll absorb faster than just regular water. Like, it'll just absorb in. So yeah, if I'm putting my hand in the sink to like wash some dishes, and I either do it and I'll put like a glove on, or I'll do it and I'll like dry my hand off after, so like that's not absorbing in. I don't know, I guess that's me just being a little bit picky sometimes. But if I'm going to go the way of trying to live a certain lifestyle, I just have certain things I'll do. But man, there's so much I want to talk about. Yeah, so that's the distilled water. Now there's the free form of distilled water, which is urine. Do I drink it all the time? No, not at all. You know, I've had phases where I'm like, oh, this is what I got to do. I think I first heard about the idea of drinking urine from Master of Earth, but then that got expanded on aged urine, and what you can actually, the crazy possibilities with aged urine from Harry Matadine, and I think I watched a video from Alkalize to Realize, like a good podcast, and Monica Shute broke that down very well. She had some good points to bring in, but that it kind of like piqued my interest in it, so I would put something aside, and I would test it out, and I noticed the effects, and it's just awesome. So what I'd see aged urine as, again, it's distilled water, so it's distilled water itself, but it's like my emergency shit. Like, if it's just like, it's like a health backup I got. So how can I put this? I'm gonna go through some of the benefits of aged urine. So aged urine will oxygenate the body. I found after aging it for like quite a while, you take a bit of it, and you don't have to get out into nature. If you really be taking some, if you really be like hardcore with this age urine, you don't got to get out into nature. Like that's literally your nature. Like that's literally, well, what is urine? Urine is blood without red blood cells. That's literally what it is. It's blood without the red blood cells filtered throughout the kidneys. Now there's different types of urine you can have. You can have urine when your body's in a clean state, like just on like a fruit fast, and it's like a lighter urine. When that ages, it's a lot easier to drink and pretty much tasteless. And if you get in the sun, the easier it is. It'll get away the taste. I don't do that shit because I live in like a neighborhood. Honestly, I don't even think I'd do it if I wasn't in a neighborhood. Well, actually, nah. I probably would just to try it out, see what effect it has. But I've had a phase where I just like have them open in the washroom, have the fan on to get the smell out. I'm done with that. I've just put a lid on them because what happens is if you put a lid on it and like put it in like a jar, the smell will build up. And I thought that was like bad, like, oh, it's going to have worse of an effect where it needs to breathe. It doesn't need air to breathe. Like it's fine on its own. It will have a stronger smell, but what happens is the smell will stick around on anything that's inorganic. So you put it on like the floor is gonna smell, unless you wash it off. But if you put it on an organic thing like your body, it'll absorb it and the smell will go away. So now what effect? Why the fuck would you fuck with aged urine? Okay, it oxygenates the body. It structures itself over time. So the longer you age it, the more structured this water will become. It'll hold you to a high vibration. You drink enough of this shit, it's just like, woo, like it like literally just like lifts you up. You can massage it in. This is my most preferred way of doing it. I don't drink it often, but when I do engage with it, I'll hop in the shower and I'll do like a full body, like before bed. I'll do like a full body like rub, where like basically I'll have like a little bowl and I'll like dip my hands in and rub it over. You know, they say the main parts to do it are like your neck, because this is the bloodstream, and like your face, and your armpits, and not just all the areas really, but those are some of the key places to do it. But I remember when I was really starting out with French, which I'm going to get back to eventually, but I watched a video of this French woman who did a hair care routine where she would clean her hair with aged urine and just go through the process of it. And it's the most natural cleaning thing you could have. Like if you were to use a shampoo or a soap on your body, besides certain things I'll touch on, but aged urine is a great natural cleansing of the body. You'll notice that after you do like a aged urine massage of like 5-10 minutes, your skin will be glowing. It'll be very soft. You'll have a shine to you. You will and yeah, shit holds you to a high vibration, man. And they use aged urine to cure scars. If you got a scar and you want to get rid of it, I don't know how you'd make it. You'd make like whatever surgical thing they'd hold. I don't want to turn this off again. Whatever surgical thing they have to hold liquid in place, and you'd basically like soak it in that. And eventually what happens is the skin just like slowly comes off in layers, and to the point where like aged urine's got stem cells too. So what'll happen is after like, I think I put them in like gallon jars. I'll have gallon jars of them, and after like a week or so, like it'll start to build up at the bottom like sediment, and that's like the stem cell sediment that is used to recover any part of your body you would put it on. So it's great. It's great for cleaning your body. It's great for healing. It's got a negative charge. You put it on your skin, it's pulling toxins out. Put it in your body, it's healing. Getting rid of the mucoid plaque. Or what's mucoid plaque? Mucoid plaque is like the stringy lines of fecal matter that line the inside of our intestines that 95% of people have, unless you've done like a strong detox, or you've just not grown up in modern society. So my goal is to get rid of that, as everyone's goal should be. It'll increase your lifespan, and that's a great detoxifying step. You know, my goal with that is I'm going to be doing a dry fast. I'm going to be doing dry fast to eventually try to get this out. But my first dry fast is coming up at the start of November. I'll be doing that. But that's something you can target. But yeah, it has many different effects. You can take it up the nose to clear out your sinuses. You got sinus cavities. We'll be talking about this. You put it in the ears. You put it everywhere. Put it in your eyes. That's what I wanted to touch on. People will be like, I don't want to sun gaze. I don't want to look at the sun. Urine can heal any part of your body. So if you really get fucked up from the sun and you're like, oh, I want to heal it, you can soak in your eyes. You can put it in your eyes. And I am convinced that if I really needed to heal my eyes and I'm like, I can't see, I just use sage urine. So that's where my mind goes. Someone's like, I don't want to look at the sun. I'm like, but you got like this healing modality at your disposal that if something gets damaged, unless you get like a limb cut off or like surgery sense, it'll heal a lot of external things from that fashion. Now, am I saying that what you eat doesn't come into play or your diet doesn't come into play? No, that still plays an effect. It can help in a sense. Like you can take it before you eat some certain food and take it after, and it will mitigate the effects. But if you got diabetes, sage urine ain't gonna cure your diabetes. You actually gotta like work on your diet and what you're eating, and you look into fasting and you look into cutting out certain foods. But yeah, besides that, it's a great healing modality. So the waters is a great is step number 5 on like the list if I be going down a list. Yeah, you don't want to be dosing, man. They be putting all this extra shit in the water. You know, a great way to, you just want to see all the areas that are coming at you. You know, why go vegan and start changing the effect of your body if you're still putting stuff in your body all day? So what's the most prone area you get this water from? The shower. Okay, let's touch on the shower. So this is my understanding of it. What are you doing? You got shampoo, soap, conditioner, body wash. The soap is alkaline. Your skin is acidic. Your skin has a pH of like 3 or 4. Soap is alkaline. Or yeah, so it's like 12 or 13. Your skin is not supposed to be alkaline. So what are you doing rubbing soap on it? Step number 1, what you doing there? Step 2, what's the shampoo and conditioner doing for your hair? It's just got a bunch of random chemicals in it that they use to clean your hair, as if your hair needs to be clean, as if, what are you cleaning in the hair? Are you cleaning the smell? There ain't no smell in your hair. There's like, unless you get like dirty and you fall in a pile of mud, then okay, get some water, you know, you can wash it out. You know, people be like, oh, I gotta put some shampoo in hair to make it soft and straight and all this stuff. Listen, it's all some extra stuff. This is a whole bunch of programming. You don't need to be showering. Okay, you lose, I want to touch on that from that perspective. What did I forget? Nah, let's go on that. You lose like 50,000 cells a day from skin cells a day. Your outer skin is shedding, right? That dust around your house that just builds up out of nowhere, that's your skin. That's your skin cells just like constantly shedding over time. So if you're shedding your skin from the outside, what are you really doing in the shower? You're cleaning the outside of your skin, but the inside of your skin, if it's got toxins in it, you ain't cleaning that shit. You could have acne popping out here. You ain't cleaning that shit from the outside of the shower. You're scrubbing the skin. That ain't cleaning the interior. Now, really want to talk about cleaning the interior. That's back to lymphatic fluid. We got mosquitoes popping up. All acne is just lymph fluid and the toxin being pushed the first side of the skin. Your body will push it wherever it needs to get it out your body. But yeah, where do you get acne from? It's from the food. If you stop eating the food that produces the thing that's not supposed to be of your body, you will not get acne. So that's something to be aware of. People get these like chemicals that'll stop them from getting acne. All you're doing is repressing your immune system. So you're just keeping those toxins in there. Please don't do that. You're just going against of what you're trying to do when we're trying to heal the body. to bring your body to its natural state. I got the max video size there. Okay. What were we touching on? We're touching on showers. So if that's the case, you ain't cleaning the interior. Now, what are you really trying to clean from a shower? Trying to smell better? Here's the thing, the smell's coming from the inside. The smell's not coming from your skin. The smell's coming from the inside, right? So how do you clean the inside? Or how do you get that smell away if you want to smell good? You get some chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is an internal deodorant. You can pick it up at the fucking grocery store in the like the supplement aisle. It's from plants. It's just from like, it's what the plants use for photosynthesis from the sun. And yeah, it costs like $15 for like a good bottle, or like $10 US. And that's an internal deodorant. Your smell gonna go away. It's gonna help you with your acne. Actually, it helps you detoxify, and you gonna be smelling way better. And then you can combine that with your essential oils. You can play with essential oils to smell good too. But yeah, we ain't trying to be wearing these who be talking about the showers? All right, you want to know about the shower thing? Where I get this information from? Head to Damian Michael's page on YouTube, talking about this in a video. What I want to bring up here is from Harry Matadine. See how I'm tying different channels together? Harry Matadine talks about dry brushing. So he'll talk about taking like a brush, and what you're doing is you just brush your skin. And what it is it helps in aiding the older skin cells from falling off. So you're basically you're doing what your person would do in the shower. Basically, all I could see positive from being in a shower is it's like a medium to relax. Like the water's there as like a relaxing medium to yeah, this is touched on Damian Michael's video. It's a medium to relax, which I can see that's positive, but that's all I can see from the rest of it. Really, you're dousing yourself. If you don't got a filter, you're dousing yourself with chlorine, then you're breathing that in, and fluoride and whatever else is in the tap water. It's the same water in your shower, depending on where you at. And you're taking that in your body. Please don't do this. I mean, if you want to, I'd say get a good shower filter, because again, there's different paths you can take for all these different things. If you really want to get a shower, and you don't want to go that path, I just say get a good shower filter. Maybe get an organic soap or organic, something that matches your skin. I've heard, you go watch the video, we'll talk about it. You can get apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to touch on this. The video's gone, so I'm going to add it here. He said on his Facebook, and I've done this multiple times. You want a face mask? Apple cider vinegar, bentonite clay, what is it? Activated charcoal. Mix those three together till you get like a paste. Put it on your face. It'll pull toxins out. Leave that on for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. It's acidic, so it matches the skin pH. And yeah, you can use apple cider vinegar in your shower too if you still be showering. I mean, to be honest, I guess it's pretty normal for people to shower. So I'd say fuck with that. Just be aware of what you're putting on your body, because the goal is to detox. The goal ain't to add extra stuff to it. Yeah, if you're doing a face mask, do that 10, 15 minutes. You could hop in the shower, wash that off. And then, yeah. So, is that all I really want to touch on for the water topic? I think so. We touched on some tea. Okay, let's go into coffee and tea. People want an alternative to coffee. Yerba mate. Look up yerba mate. Look up, yeah, yerba mate is awesome. I love it. I use it at work. It's basically my coffee, and it's strong. It's like, it'll give you a kick like coffee would, and you can combine it with different supplements you take to increase your awareness of their effect. Help your body understand what it actually does, so it'll have a more profound effect on you. But yeah, so it's not going to dehydrate you like coffee does. It doesn't target your adrenal system like coffee does, so you're not going to get a crash when you take yerba mate. Does it have negative effects? Sure, anything you use in excess will have a negative effect, but I can say that, as long as you're smart about it, you'll be able to tell what your limit is, and you can make mad use of yerba mate, and it's a great replacement for coffee. You can pick it up at grocery stores. I pick it up at the Nature's Fair. in Canada. I don't know where you pick it up, wherever you live, but you know, if you can't find it anywhere, you can order it online, and it's like mad cheap. I'll bring like a cup and like my distilled water, and I'll bring like a little filter cup that I can pour it in. So I'll put it in the filter cup, put the tea in there, put the hot water in, and then I'll pour that in my cup. And it's carried around, so it's easy to, if I ever need a boost throughout the day, all I need to find is a kettle. Let's like carry a kettle around, then I'll be good. All I just need is a power outlet. Yeah, that's your coffee. You don't gotta go get some tap water and shitty coffee that's been sitting on the counter at some coffee shop. You can actually get some healthy shit. Woo! I think that's what we want to touch on for water. Okay, let's touch on what we can use with the water. So enema, going back a step or two. If you're doing enema, I would recommend using distilled water. That's what I would use. And yeah, recommend that over tap water. The colon has a lot of connections to other areas of the body, so whatever you're putting in there has a strong effect. Ooh, aged urine enemas are extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. Touch on that in Harry Matadine's channel. If you go there, he'll break that down even more. But that's some game for you. Aged urine enemas. It'll go straight to your liver. It'll yeah, wherever you get this shit is just mad powerful. So that's something to touch on. And then we're gonna go into the sinuses, clearing the sinuses. You can use aged urine. I don't. I've tried experimenting with it. I don't really play with it too much. I'll use distilled water. I get like one of these little like squishy nasal cups that it's like a circle. It's got a little like tip at the end where you put it on your nose and you squeeze it, and the water goes up and it'll go up through one end and it'll come through the other. Basically, you have like 4 pockets. You got a pocket here, 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 all in the front. And what it is you'll put water through one, and I'll tilt my head a bit, and I'll know I'm going to a different pocket because the sensation it'll be kind of painful, but it's not even painful. It's just like you're like actually like cleaning that area out, and you're like getting water up there. And afterwards, you'll feel you'll breathe a lot better. And yeah, you want to clean this area out. Master of Earth talks about this. That's where you get that information from. But I'm combining that with distilled water. So because he'll talk about it doing with urine. I'm saying it's a lot easier with distilled water. Distilled water is the GOAT. If you wanna skip all the aged urine, you don't gotta touch none of it. You're like, I don't fuck with that. You don't gotta touch none of it. But distilled water, hell, if you don't want to even get the machine, it's like again, it's like $1, and you can use it for a lot of great uses. So just giving you game on that. Unless you just want to stick with tap water and you can still use these methods, I guess. See what works for you. What's next? So we've touched on like 6 steps so far. Let's touch on grounding. So I haven't really noticed the effect of grounding until recently. Every day I'll go on my break and I'll do my yoga, and that'll be my grounding for the day. But basically what you're doing is the sun's a strong masculine energy. The ground is a sort of feminine energy. So like again, we were talking with masculine and feminine energies, you're pulling that feminine energy up, but also too, you're connecting your body to the ground. So instead of your energy just like circling throughout your body over and over, it actually circulates through the ground, and you can balance yourself out, and you're not getting stuck in an energy cycle. That's what happens when people stay inside all day. They'll be stuck in their head and thinking. They'll be stuck in like a certain pattern. When if you connect back in nature, I'm wearing shoes right now, but we got blackberry bushes everywhere, so I ain't standing in this. But yeah, you're connected to what's around you, and it's a good practice to engage with and just see how it makes you feel. That's another thing to add. Who talks about that? Master of Earth talks about it. Other people touch on it. Again, most of these things are from Master of Earth, but the ones that go deep, like semen retention, that's such a deep step. That's why I sent you out to God King TV. Buddha talks about it too. They both got content on it, but it's just so deep that like I don't think you can compare semen retention to like, I don't know, a nasal rinse. Like one clearly has a lot larger of an effect, but it's just there's different steps. So yeah. Next, we want to talk about headstands. I love headstands. I feel so great after doing them. For Master of Earth, yeah, you can go there and watch the video on it, but it breaks down basically you want to send energy up to your higher faculties. You're allowing blood to flow up to higher to your brain, and it will allow you to think better. People are using very small portions of their brain, so it will allow your brain to operate at a higher level. It will you may notice at first you're gonna get like this, like you might get a nosebleed, you might like go upside down and you'd be like, you feel pain here. All this is because you never really had energy flowing up to this. Humans are the only animal that stand straight up on all fours, so blood's, and then with all the food and all the things we be eating and all the toxins, blood doesn't even get to flow up here, which is not normal. No other animal stands up like this. They're all in like a full body movement. The energy is balanced. So what we're doing when you're doing a headstand is you're flipping it. You're actually adding that yang to that yin energy. You're balancing it out. And you're yeah. So you'll notice at first it'll be hard to even pop in a headstand. You might have to go. When I started, I went up against the wall. I'd do it like a minute, and like it'd be mad painful. Now I can do like 15, 20 minutes easy without a wall, and it's not painful. And then I'll do another exercise, but like, and then I'll go right back to another 20 minutes. So it's like it's you get better with it over time, and you feel the effects. Like you start to glow, like you really get a shine to you after you do it. You'll notice, but that's a great full body exercise for building muscle and building strength. And you know, if you're trying to build full body strength, you want to engage in full body exercises. You want to do things like that. My goal is to do handstands and handstand push-ups. I'm working at that. I'm trying to build up to that shit, but that's the goal. But that's yoga, you know. I'll talk about this in the video. Master of Earth. Highest teaching of yoga. The highest goal of it is to get the energy moving to the top, and this is the highest practice to do this. Now, what was it? People talk about meditation and like the best way to meditate and what you should do. I don't do none of that like I used to when I was starting out like 4 years ago. I'm like, what's meditation? Oh, let's download Headspace and let's do the 10-minute meditation of like, you know, watching my thoughts and doing like watching my breath. There's that form of meditation, and then there's like a physical, like put your body in this position and now you're meditating sort of shit you can do. So that's what a headstand is. You do a headstand, you're meditating. So you'd be like, I can't meditate. Do a headstand. You ain't got to worry about what you think about because you are meditating. And there are other poses. There's another pose that he'll talk about on his channel. Man, go watch all these videos. They all great. Yeah. Anything else I really want to touch on? I'm gonna go through it. So, seam retention, sun, enema, waters, sinus, jumping, grounding, spinning. Okay, spinning the body. Master of Earth again. These are all basically just Master of Earth for like 80-90% of it. Activate your vestibular system. Basically, you want to get dizzy. You like that feeling of being dizzy, like, whoa. But what it is, what you're gonna... Why would you want to spin in a circle? You're activating like a chakra. That's like your orientation chakra that allows your body to maneuver on its own. You know, it allows things to flow. How can I describe this? Because I want to describe this on a level where everyone can sort of like pick up on it no matter where they're at. But I'd say it's something if you don't really want to, you're not really at that point yet. And he'll break it down on his channel. But it's something to be aware of. Spinning, I'll do that often. Not every day, but I'd like to eventually at some point be more consistent with it. But yeah, activate your vestibular system, which is your navigation system, which allows your body to operate more effectively. And what you'll notice is if you do it like every day, it won't be so much a dizzy, and your body will just be spinning, and then there'll be your consciousness in the center, and your body will just be doing its own thing. You'll realize that it's not even you spinning, it's just the body spinning, and there's you. So it's like your consciousness, and you're just aware that like you're not in control, like you're more of just like guiding the vessel on what to do, and the vessel will take it out, and you can sort of like watch that awareness. But also too, it's active in your vestibular system, so your body's more, it's not so rigid, it's not so stuck in like that like masculine like robot mode. It's more like flow and like engaged and in touch with the environment around it. That's something to be aware of. A technique. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting one thing before I go into veganism, because that's a whole topic in itself. That's why I've saved it for the end, because it's just so deep. I want to like touch on all the points I want to touch on. What was the last one I wanted to cover? Gee. Man, I guess I'll just leave it. I mean, that's what I just gave you right there is a vast majority of stuff you need to be focusing on. Go through the rest of the Masterverse stuff. Probably gonna leave it off here on the things from this channel. You kind of get the point. But there's other great things to talk about, like sleeping on the floor for your spine health. So your spine can hold your weight up, and your muscles can relax, and you can actually sleep properly, and you can actually dream, and you can, that shit's dope. A lot of other cool stuff. Check that shit out. Alright, so veganism, what we talk about with Damian Michaels. His content be gone. You can check out his YouTube. He's still got a fair amount of content on it. You can look up the gluten. You can look up what else kind of gets. You'll talk about healing, healing the body naturally. What else is there on the YouTube? There ain't too much, G. Most of it's gone, like that good shit. Basically, I'll break it down. Okay, so fruits and vegetables have enzymes that break them down within it. So like the apple will come with like a certain enzyme, so it digests itself. Like your body doesn't have to work to digest the fruit. It'll break itself down. And the avocado and whatever else. And yeah, when you cook the fruit or the vegetable, it destroys that enzyme. So now your body can't really understand, it can't communicate with it. So it's got to do its own effort. Now it's got to break it down. Now it's got to do this extra shit. Alright? So we're going to go from fruit, and then we're going to expand to all the other things. But I'm just going to break it down on a core level so you understand what's going on here. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you got acidic fruit or acidic foods. Let's just say foods. You got acidic foods. You got midline, like let's call it alkaline acidic foods. Then you got alkaline foods. You don't want to be mixing the alkaline foods with the acidic foods, because what happens is your stomach produces a certain environment to balance out one or the other. So if you put in an acidic food, it'll produce an alkaline thing to get rid of, balance it out. But if you throw some alkaline food in there, now it's not balancing out. So and vice versa. So the idea is, if you're having fruits, you don't want to mix, a banana with a pineapple. You be seeing this shit. Like people are like, oh, I'll have a banana pineapple smoothie. Like, you don't mix those two together. Like, those aren't two. Your body doesn't. You go and eat those, and you're gonna get bubbly gut. You're gonna be like, oh, I feel bad, because you're mixing fruit. You're supposed to mix like keep the sweet fruit and maybe sub-acidic, or you keep acidic and sub-acidic, but you don't go some, like, I don't know, orange and dates. Like, you don't mix those two together. That's just fruit. Then you got, like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this video is still up, but we're talking about, like, No, the spider web's gone. Oh, I fucked up the spider web. Oh, that's so... Oh, man. There's a spider web right in front of me. I fucked it up. Oh, so deep in conversation. What? Okay. Yeah, the video talks about carbs and proteins can't be digested together. And then on top of that, fats, like, I think make it even harder for the proteins to break down. So when you're eating something that's very complex and has a bunch of different things, your body just can't do it all at once. So it just won't break it down. So your body will surround it in mucus so it doesn't break down the body around it in the time it takes to send it out the body. And it'll digest what it can, and then it'll push the rest down. And your body ain't digesting that. It ain't taking anything from that. If it can't break it down to a level where it can assimilate that in the small intestine, it's just going to send it on because it can't do nothing with it. Yeah. Yeah, how could I break this down? Because I guess we can jump into meat and then we'll come back and look at the vast majority of it. Oh boy. This is going to be the shits. Okay. I don't know how I can break this down because there's many perspectives on it. But, the meat that humans eat is the muscle of an animal. It's a complex chain of amino acids. Yeah. Branched amino acids together in one clump. So when you eat that, you get one big dose of amino acids. It's very concentrated. And you get a sort of high off it. It's basically a drug. You get in a high off these amino acids that are in a clump. No animal in nature eats that. No animal in nature eats the muscle of an animal. They eat the guts. If you look on National Geographic, they eat in the guts. They eat in the internals because they got enzymes, like the fruits do, that break themselves down. They trying to get the enzymes. They ain't trying to get the muscle. So, if you're talking about protein, all protein is amino acids. You can get amino acids from vegetables. And it's actually easier for your body to assimilate. You can get some yellow pea protein and get the same muscles that somebody eating meat would get. But oh wait, B12 and vitamin whatever, you can supplement those. Okay. Now people be like, okay. There's the environmental aspect of it where people be like, okay, I don't want to touch onto this. The human body, when you look at how it's actually built, you compare it to other animals in nature, it's most similar to a monkey that eats fruits. If you actually look at how it's the structure and you compare it to different, like an herbivore or a carnivore or like a fruitarian. We're fruitarian by nature, you know. Actually, in an ideal scenario where, you know, we had nice weather, we'd be breatharian by nature. But that's something to look on further down the line if you really want to look into this sort of path. You know, you want to look down a certain path and you're like, okay, I really want to try this out for a bit and see if I can go breatharian. I don't know. That's just something to look into. But we ain't built to eating all these meats. Human are not meat eaters. And the meat, it's just, and the grains too, the gluten. You can go onto his channel. This whole video is just me sending you to channels, but you can go on his channel and he'll break down the gluten thing of how gluten-free foods are not gluten-free in the term of using the word gluten. They're wheat gluten-free. So they'll use corn, rye, millet, or potato, or they'll use some other gluten to act as like a gluten-free food. And really what gluten-free means is it's gliadin-free. It's free of the weak gluten. So, yeah. What's the problem with eating these foods? All these foods are mucus forming. All these foods, your body, if you eat enough of these foods, you'll get sick. If you ain't eating these foods, you're not going to get... You don't get sick. If you live this lifestyle of getting out in the sun and drinking some clean water and moving your body, eating fruits, you ain't going to get sick. You ain't going to have disease. You're actually going to heal from whatever disease you be developing. Yeah. So, the goal of all these food, the goal, well, what I do is, for the most part, I'm eating fruit that's in season. I stopped eating meat June 2019. And then that was basically my food change till 2020. I basically was just like, okay, well, so what, have whatever. Then I learned about the MSG, about what I made the video on, of how like a fuck ton of these foods have this flavor enhancer that like makes your brain cells pop and dumbs you down and gets you addicted to a bunch of foods and gets you eating things that has no nutritional value to you and makes you diabetic and blocks insulin burning hormone. And it's just a whole bunch of fuck shit. And this is in all your foods. It's in all the fast food. It's in all the your Oreos and your all this goofy shit. You'd be amazed in how many things you'll find at the grocery store. And this is how I look at it. I'll go to the grocery store and I'll be like, okay, look at the ingredients. Your number one thing you're looking at is the ingredient list. You look at it from front to back. The first ingredient's the most common ingredient, and then the further on it goes is like the less quantity of that in that product. So if the first thing's water, the most prominent ingredient is water in this, and then you'll go on through that. Watch the video, but I'll talk about how you'll see like natural flavors, and you'll see like cornstarch, or you'll see like I don't even like xanth. I looked up xanthan gum. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like a combining agent. And I'm like, why would you want to glue? I don't want no glue, like forming agent. Like, it's just things like that. I'm like, my body is not going to know what that is. And you'll be surprised at so many things. I'm just like, garlic is bad for my body. And like, even turmeric, like that kind of fucks with you. And then like onion, it's like all these things. You'll be amazed of how many of these things are just in everything in like a certain amount. And you're like, damn, like all this shit, I don't even want to eat none of this. And you're like, you don't eat it for a while and come back and you're like, maybe I can. And you try and you're just like, oh. See, I'm at a point where my body just tells me what I can eat and what I can't eat. And it's just like, I'll eat. I've gone so far in this vegan thing where it's just like, I'm mostly eating fruits and vegetables if I want to fuck around. Or I'll have like a wrap with like peanut butter and like some blueberry jam or something, or like something like that, or like some juice or kombucha, or like some hummus without garlic or some shit like that, or like chickpeas. Like that's my outing from like fruits and vegetables. But I sort of like to stick around that. And if I go either farther out that, my body's just like, I'll immediately feel a reaction. And it's like I can't even like, I'm actually in tune with how my body feels now with these foods in me. And I'm like, oh, this is how this makes my body feel. Oh, this is how my body actually feels. I don't get like that high of like, ooh. Well, I do get that. But the high you get from like that dopamine rush of whatever they put in the food to make it taste good, it doesn't compare to like your body actually feeling like, oh, I can't digest this. What the fuck did you just put in me? What do I do with this now? And the body just like, everything slows down, your vibration drops a bit, and you're just like operating a bit slower. Yeah. Yeah. So the goal is to not be eating inorganic acidic foods. Oh, here's another thing to touch on. It takes 3 months for your body to produce new blood. So say you, I don't know, eat a certain cookie brand. And you're trying to stop eating that. It'll take 3 months for that to no longer be in your blood. So you may crave that for 3 months, but once those 3 months are passed, that's no longer in your system. That's no longer a part of you, so your body can't physically be attracted to that. So when you're coming off, you're trying to make it like a lifestyle change in terms of like what you're eating. The plan is to take it slow and like take it in steps, and yeah, just not rush it. You don't got to do too much at once. Now, fruits and vegetables are a living vibration. You're putting a higher vibration energy in your body for your body to assimilate with. When you're using a dead animal or like meat, there's a very low vibration. So your body's got to balance out that vibration with your vibration, and that's becoming a part of you. So you're taking on that energy. I don't know. I don't even want to try that shit no more. And it comes down to this. This is the cheese, the addictive cheese, which I don't, and the milk and all the animal products. They all got goofy shit. But yeah, what was I gonna touch on there? Yeah, that's pretty much it from what I can think right now. But yeah. Shit's nice out. Okay. So we went over veganism. Okay. So, while I will be liking to make future videos on this and covering each topic in veganism, because I like to break them down individually and like break them down fully. Before that, I'd recommend looking up Dr. Sebi, like his actual like old videos. Not like some mainstream, just like type it in on YouTube and click the first video. Like actually like look at some of his original videos and just learn about, you know, just explore that avenue. That'll be a good path to look down. Alright, is there anything I'm really else trying to cover in this video in terms of like raising your vibration, taking care of your body? I mean, that's basically it, man. We're in a world where, and like, this information ain't too complex, but it's just like bringing it all together. I don't see why people don't be talking about all this stuff. Yeah, we're in a world where men aren't aware that getting rid of their sexual energy is harming them and taking them away, and actually harming it all trickles down. But they're not being taught of the significance of that, and they're wondering why they're depressed, and people are wondering why life is just so dull, and why they're anxious to go places, and why they're you know, why everything can be so difficult, and why they're thinking all the time and stuck in their head and all this shit. When really it just comes down to your health, when it just comes down to, okay, you got to understand how your temple works and understand how your body works, you know? These channels I'm going to send you to, basically, we've been back and forth. you made it to this part of the video, I'd imagine you are really trying to find answers and you're really trying to find a path. So that was basically what the point of this video is. I'm going to give you these channels to look at. You got first channel I talked about, God King TV, the first one I was introduced to. All the videos, watch all them shits. Talks about occult knowledge. What is occult knowledge? It's hidden knowledge. It is, he'll talk about astrology. He'll talk about a bunch of stuff, but the main point I really want to get across to you is the semen retention, and he'll break that down in an amazing fashion. I recommend watching all the videos. Next, check out Master of Earth, Buddha Zan. They be covering great content, and watch all their videos. Hell, I can recommend downloading them shits and just have it so if you don't have time to listen to them, you listen to them at work or if you're in the car or whatever. Damian Michaels, I recommend subscribing to his YouTube, watching all those videos, or the ones that are like significant. He has some gardening ones. I don't think that I'll talk about too much in terms of like the veganism and like the health, but check out the things on like the shower filter and you know, different things of the sort. And then follow his Facebook. That's where you're going. He's even though they deleted his content, it's not going to stop him from posting. It's the same person who made that content. So if you're trying to see, the thing is, I didn't really break that veganism part down, and I understand that like too well. Because again, I'm at the start of this shit. Like a couple more years down the road, I'll be able to break this down in a lot more concise way across the board. But the same person that made the videos that I'm learning this from is still out there, and he's still posting every day. So if you follow his Facebook, you still gonna get the content. So again, if you're that person who made it this far in the video and you're looking for content, I'm giving you like a path to follow that sort of content. Harry Matadine, his Facebook or his YouTube, I recommend going through, checking out that shit. Yeah, man, it's very simple. Understand how the body works. Understand that your body produces, for a man, its most important energy is semen. Your body produces that. And then the idea is to get that cultivated and that energy moving throughout the body, and then cleanse the body of any energies that is of a foreign alignment, and giving the body what it needs on a daily basis or just on a consistent basis of sunlight, of hydration, of cleaning out the lymph, of cleansing throughout the many different methods there are, of strengthening its balance. And yeah, check out Buddha Zan. He has got some good topics on and Master at the look into the yoga, look into the balance aspects of that. Because the core idea of this is all this health stuff ties back into spirituality in the end. And it ties back into, you know, that path you're going to be walking where you're engaged in spirituality, and it's just going to make the whole, you can skip the whole game. You can skip the whole, you don't got to deal with none of the matrix. You just got to focus on yourself. Focus on your body and your chi and your energy, and understanding how your body works and paying attention to how the body works. That content's out there. You can look into it and it'll explain it a lot more, but the main idea, man, is you just want to engage in this content and engage in content like this that, you know, till a point where you start to get your own flow going. And the goal would be to get your life to a point where your purpose starts to open up. You start to see a path set up before you and you're like, whoa, you know, I've been walking this path for like a year or so, or 2 years, and now I see that I can do this with what I've learned, or this is now opened up as an opportunity, and this is what I'd like to do, so I could follow that path. You know, yeah, they got a lot of great content, and I just genuinely wish people would, well, not people, but I just genuinely wished that the information was brought together in a fashion where people could touch onto all these different avenues and be able to apply them simply. That's what I'm wishing. I'm just wishing there was an avenue where all these things could get brought together in a fashion where consistently people can be like, yeah, I do that, and then yeah, I do that, and then yeah, I do that, and it's more of a common thing. Whereas nowadays, all you really hear about is people be on semen retention here and there, or like sun gazing here and there, and maybe trying to sit and meditate. That's it. And that's the people that are doing those things. But there's other levels to this, and it opens up into like a web where it's very intricate, and things start to tie things together. And you start to come into your own. So yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video for anyone that's like looking for a path, looking for a way, fucking wanting an answer, wanting like not knowing what to try, and have tried a bunch of efforts and you're just like, this is frustrating, I'm not getting nowhere with this. I hope this video could give you a place to start, man. Give you like something to try that's actually going to give you some actual results. It's going to... It takes you on your own journey. It takes you... But it all comes down to that foundation, which I can't stress enough. It comes down to that foundation of understanding how the body functions and just giving the body that shit, man. Yeah. Hope you got some value from this video. If you have any questions you want to talk about, drop them below. And yeah, peace, love. Yes, sir.